Malanga has expelled Sibusiso Mdluli, and the membership of controversial Treasurer Mandla Msibi is suspended for 3 years. The governing party accused the two of planning the sabotage of the January 8th statement event at the Mbombela Stadium. To help us analyze the ANC's move, we are now joined by political analyst Dr Nsizwazonke Yende. Doc, good to have you, and thank you very much for coming on this evening. A lot happening in the ANC all at once as we build up to the May 29 election. What is the repercussion, I suppose, politically of this particular action?
Good evening to you, Thabo Mdluli, as well as your viewers at home. I think this is one of the ways in which the ANC is trying to show the seriousness in terms of dealing with hooligans within the organizations, or those that can be identified as hooligans within the organization, provided or looking at the mere fact that now they are trying to show how serious they are, even in terms of dealing with issues in the ANC, and also looking at that they are preparing for the upcoming national elections, which is very critical for them to be seen as if they are doing anything, to be seen as if they are serious about dealing with the matters internally that affect the integrity of the organization going to the election.
So Gwede Mantashe, for example, was asked about somebody like former President Jacob Zuma to say, why did you not expel him for openly coming out and saying, I'm going to be campaigning for another party? He says, you expel him, you take away the attention of the campaign to dealing with the fact that you've expelled him. He's already defined himself outside the party, kind of thing. And even as we speak at this point, they've not expelled him or suspended him. They've just left it up until the elections. Do you think the province did not see that as a wise strategy to say, right now, to expel these members who are already, in a sense, campaigning against the party in Mpumalanga could end up leading and the whole campaign to collapse as a distraction, so to speak?
Yeah, I think if you look at the profile of the members that have not been suspended, or for instance, you look at the one for former President Jacob Zuma, is the high-profile member or member of the ANC, that expelling him from the party will have serious repercussions in the organization. So for them for Gwede Mantashe to come and make such utterances, they are of the view that keeping him within the ANC and not to expel him, that might work on their advantage, which we all know that it will not be as such, because you look at how Jacob Zuma has mentioned a couple of times that he's not campaigning for the ANC, but he's campaigning for the MK party, which is very serious for the ANC, because if you look at how they are trying to maintain their integrity and calmness towards the election, and looking at how the MK has been vocal and how they have tried to show that they will be contesting and they will be taking a lot of vote for the ANC. So I think that suspending or expelling the former president would have worked at their disadvantage, because that would have been said to the public that now Jacob Zuma will always know that he can use that against them, with the mere fact that he can play the victim card. Now if you have these members of the ANC again, the likes of Mandla Msibi being suspended, again he has not been expelled, but he's been suspended. Now you look at also in terms of how does it relate to the issue of Jacob Zuma, you could see that they know that there could be repercussions, also knowing that Mandla Msibi is one also of the influential members of the ANC in the province. So they wouldn't want to expel him going to the national elections, because they understand that there might be repercussions when it comes to not having these individuals of high profile within the party.
Is he then a member who, when suspended for 3 years, would likely remain loyal to the ANC even at suspension?
That will remain to be seen, Mr. Mdluli, because you look at how many of the people that have been suspended within the ANC, most of them, they just leave the ANC. So I wouldn't be surprised that you can leave the ANC and attempt to join any other political party that already exists. Because you look at most members of the ANC which have been suspended, they have not stayed within the ANC, they have not been loyal to the ANC. Because if they are suspended, there are activities within the ANC that they will not be allowed to attend. There are things that they will not be allowed to do within the ANC. So that also derails their political career So I don't think that we can see the likes of Mandla Msibi staying for 3 years if perhaps the decision has not been reversed, staying for 3 years, being politically inactive, because that will derail their political career. Because remember that most of them, they have high hopes in terms of them being in the parliament and being, occupying some of the positions in the government to try and, contribute towards social change. So I don't think that we can see them as being loyal. And it wouldn't necessarily be not being loyal to the party. That will be basically looking after themselves to say that they want to engage in these political activities that will advance social change, that will ensure that they are able to engage as well as contribute towards the entire social change in South Africa.
How strong, I suppose, let me put it this way, this decision that the PEC takes, what does it tell us about how strong the leaning is in that PEC towards supporting President Cyril Ramaphosa?
Of course, it is. It is quite very strong, because if you look at from the suspension and from the January 8th statement, the allegations that they tried to sabotage the January 8th statement, that basically speaks on its own to say that you could see that within the PEC itself, they might be leaning more and more towards, the support of Cyril Ramaphosa, whereas perhaps that would also indicate to us that there might have been division within the PEC itself, because that will mean some they were supporting him and some they were not supporting Ramaphosa. So for the likes of Mandla Msibi to organize, to disrupt the January 8th statement, that basically shows about the disagreement that they have with the leadership of Ramaphosa and how they view the entire integrity of the ANC that is led by Ramaphosa. So we can therefore argue that the entire or most of the PEC in Mpumalanga, basically they are leaning towards the support of Ramaphosa, which is not surprising, looking at how most of them will want to reposition themselves in terms of, being back in the party as well as in the positions that are available in the provincial as well as in the national assembly. So it's not surprising.
Some are suggesting that we might be seeing, for example, a character like Mandla Msibi wanting to take membership of a party like Umkhonto weSizwe and closely linked to the former president. Something that others have already said would be a major factor in Mpumalanga this coming election. So in KwaZulu-Natal, they see MK playing a bigger role, and maybe in a province like Mpumalanga, maybe not so much in the rest of the country. How do you read that?
Yeah, I think if Mandla Msibi decides to take the membership of the MK party, that will basically work at the disadvantage of the ANC in the province. Looking at already that the MK party has been making a lot of rounds in Mpumalanga, particularly if you look at what they did in Piet Retief, in Umkhondo, if you look at what they did in some other part of Secunda, in Olo Mbalenhle. So you could see that they are, showing signs that they are a big party even in the province. So if you have high profile of people like Mandla Msibi who can therefore decide that they want to go and take membership of the MK party, that will also add credibility of the organization, particularly the MK party, going towards the election, which will basically challenge the ANC, understanding again that there are people that believe in Mandla Msibi, particularly those that were organized and those that he has been suspended and expelled with. So those are some of the people that they're not only leaving the ANC alone, they're living with a couple of people that basically can head the ANC provincially, which is basically one of the things that, the ANC, I believe that perhaps they had looked at it. So I think that if Mandla Msibi decides to take the membership of the MK party or any other political party, that will basically derail the ANC in terms of trying to maintain their dominance in the province.
Controversial fellow who has had run-ins with the law, much to those who support him within the party would have come to his defense. Does this now render him vulnerable in a sense to facing those kinds of charges?
I think not necessarily looking at the profile as well as who Mandla Msibi is, as well as, you know, the relations that he has, as well as how he has established himself in the province. You could still experience, you could still see how most people, they can still support him despite that he's still within, even if he's not within the ANC. But you could see that he can still receive much support even from some of the members of the ANC because they believe in what he has done. I mean, you look at what he has been doing in the province and how he has, you know, established himself in terms of, you know, or in terms in many aspects or in many parts of the province. You're looking at the people that he has organized in Pinari during the January 8th statement. There are a lot of people that still believe in his leadership. There are a lot of people that still, you know, believe in what he has been doing. And then as well as the portfolio that he has occupied, it has exposed him a lot, you know, to the needs of the people at the grassroots level. It has exposed him a lot, you know, in terms of engaging with the people that are frustrated by the ANC as well as the lack of service delivery. So basically we could see that he has been established within the portfolio, and that portfolio has exposed him a lot to, you know, the needs of the people. So I think that he can still receive much support even if he's not within the ANC, but he will still be one of the high-profile individuals in Mpumalanga.
Appreciate your time, Dr Nsizwazonke Yende, political analyst there, and your analysis this evening.